Welcome to Insulite Health, where we empower women with PCOS to transform their lives. You can find us at insulitehealth.com. You're watching The Weekly Tip with Robin Nielsen, Chief Wellness Officer.
Hello, I'm Robin Nielsen. Welcome to Weekly Tips. We get to play in the kitchen today. I'm wearing my Sexy Younger You apron with my Ask Me About GMOs button. Today, let's make spaghetti. You know, I'm always suggesting that we avoid wheat as it can be so pro-inflammatory and can make our PCOS symptoms worse. So that means that we need to avoid all the gluten-containing grains like wheat, spelt, rye, barley, non-gluten-free oats, and even couscous. So you may be surprised that we're talking about spaghetti today. Well, I have a secret. It's spaghetti that's made with vegetables, and yes, they're delicious. Let me show you how to make them. So I have a couple of different vegetables that I make noodles with. One is a beautiful spaghetti squash. It's amazing when you cook it, you actually open it up and it looks like spaghetti, and I'm going to show you how that works. And then I use beautiful zucchini squash, and I'll show you how we make spaghetti with zucchini squash. So first we have to cook the spaghetti squash, and the way you do that is you set your oven temperature for 400 degrees, and then you give the spaghetti squash a little air by using a sharp knife and just hitting it like that so that you open up a little air hole, and then you place it in the oven and you cook it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes or so. Just keep checking back till you can take the knife again and stick it in really easily. All right, so now I've taken the beautiful spaghetti squash out of the oven. I cooked it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, and it's soft and ready to go. You can see it's a little bit brown on one side. So we're going to make some beautiful spaghetti noodles out of this, and you can make some awesome dishes with it. And then also with zucchini, we can make beautiful spaghetti noodles with zucchini. And both of these vegetables are what we call low carbohydrates. So they're fabulous for PCOS because they don't spike insulin. They digest very slowly and break down into sugar very slowly. So they're great choices for PCOS. And plus they're super delicious. So let's make some noodles out of these, and then we can talk about how to make a delicious meal with them. So for right now, we're going to move this around. So I have a little zucchini spaghetti noodle maker, and this is a version that I purchased, but you can actually purchase a handheld version to make spaghetti noodles, which seems like it's so much easier and so much simpler to store. But for now, we're going to use my version. They're really inexpensive. You can buy them on Amazon, or most cookware stores have the zucchini noodle makers. All right, so all I do is I just cut off the end, cut off both ends, and then you slide this out and you stick it in here, and then this little prickly end holds it in place. So you make sure you press that in really well, and then you just start turning it, and you sort of press as you turn it, and then it makes these really cool noodles. Yeah, so you can see it's making these really gorgeous, very long noodles. We'll make a few more here. Let's see if I can hold this here. All right. So you can see you have these amazing, beautiful noodles to use for any sort of spaghetti dish, or any dish where you'd like noodles, even like a Korean beef dish. Look how fantastic, and they taste so good. Awesome, so there you have some beautiful zucchini noodles for whatever dish you'd like to make. You can see how beautiful they are, and they're really long, right? Beautiful. Okay, so now let's take a look at the spaghetti squash, and let's make some beautiful spaghetti noodles with spaghetti squash. So it's going to be kind of hot when you first take it out of the oven, so just be careful with that. I cut off the end here. And then you literally just cut it in half. And what you're going to find inside are some seeds. So let me show this to you. You can see that there's seeds in here, so we're just going to take those out. Just gently, just scoop them out. Sort of like you would a pumpkin or any other squash. Just takes a second. Whoops. Taking some of these good spaghetti noodles away. And then you can see that it has a lot of these fibers in there. So the fibers in there are actually what make the spaghetti. So now you just take a fork and you just start going like this. And let me show you what this starts looking like. Can you see how it's starting to look like noodles? So you have these really beautiful noodles now. So if you get all the noodles loose in here, in this beautiful spaghetti squash, oh my gosh, look how gorgeous that is. That is so, so beautiful. So now what you can do is you can take a little marinara sauce, and you can heat it up and you can drizzle it over the top and put maybe some meatballs on top of that. We call that a spaghetti boat. And you can make some delicious meatballs very easily. You can just get any kind of ground meat. Make sure that it's grass-fed, right? You can get turkey, or you can get pork, or you can get beef, chicken, and maybe get a pound and then put a tablespoon of sage in there, and maybe half a teaspoon of sea salt, and then just make little meatballs. Takes about 10 minutes to cook them in the oven at 350 degrees, and then you just put your marinara sauce on, put the meatballs on top of this, and oh, it's fabulous. And this marinara sauce that I have is one that I got at Trader Joe's. It's an organic tomato basil, so you can make it really simple. If you happen to have a delicious marinara recipe yourself, you can definitely make that. But this makes it really simple and quick. Literally takes you as long as it takes to cook the spaghetti squash to make a really delicious, easy meal. You can do the same thing with the zucchini noodle. So I don't usually cook these zucchini noodles. If you'd like to, you can blanch them in boiling water for basically 10 seconds to soften them a little bit. But when you put a hot sauce over them, they cook a little bit already. So if you cook up a little spaghetti sauce with maybe this marinara sauce, and you just saute a little ground meat in there, maybe you chop up an onion, or you put a few other vegetables in there, however you cook it, and then you put it over the top, it's gonna cook these enough. So that's it. You have a couple of different ways to make some really fantastic, delicious, what we call slow, low carb noodles in a very short period of time. So enjoy. So your to-do this week is to make some spaghetti. You can make a meatball boat with a spaghetti squash, some organic marinara sauce, and homemade meatballs like we talked about, using just some ground meat, sage, and sea salt, or you can top any of the noodles, the zucchini or the spaghetti squash noodles, with some pasture butter and a lovely piece of fish. Then you have an amazing meal. So we're here to support you, and I'll see you next week.
As always, the best discussions happen after the episode over at InsulightHealth.com. Head on over there now and leave a comment. Did you like this video? If so, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with all of your friends who you think might benefit. And if you want even more great resources, plus some insights from Robin that she only talks about in email, come on over to InsulightHealth.com and grab your free PCOS Diet Success Jumpstart Guide to get regular email updates. We'll see you next week.